Like a swarm of gathering bees, I felt the area under her hand buzz and spark, the energy gathering. Okay, I need to give context. In a monthly women's circle I attend, one meeting, we each took turns lying in the center, head in one woman's lap, while the rest circled around laying hands on the body. It was a simple demonstration of how healing touch is and how every woman is a healer. Every person, every human is a healer. And it reminded me of slumber party games that we used to play as a kid, right? Like light as a feather, stiff as a board. It was my turn. I eagerly laid my head in Meredith's lap as all around ladies put a hand on shin here, upper arm there, on shoulder, belly, thigh. Their hands were warm and kind. I felt drowsy and safe. Meredith instinctively reached her hand out over my chest, where she hovered it there for just a moment and asked first, "Is it okay if I put my hand here?" Her palm was over the center of my rib cage, in between my breasts. I nodded my assent, and she gingerly placed her hand just above cleavage. Like a swarm of gathering bees, I felt the area under her hand buzz and spark, the energy gathering, then overflowing. Suddenly, I was crying, and not graceful, silent tears. A plaintive moan rose from my belly, and I heard my wailing, open-mouthed cries as if they came from someone else. My back arched under Meredith's hand as I sobbed. A few of the ladies, hearing my cries, sighed and teared. I remember that moment because it was almost as if the gathering energies raised to meet her hand even before she made contact, right? It was like I could feel this release coming. Afterward, as we went around the circle sharing what we had experienced, the ladies looked at me expectantly. What memory had I unearthed? What was it? Why did I cry? Like so dramatically, right? And the truth was, I had no idea. At the soft edges of my awareness, I suspected that it had to do with my mothering. My head cradled in a woman's lap, circled by mothers, a deep yearning cracking open. The whole point of that experience, it felt to me, was that we don't always have to know. That this is the power and the genius of the body and the way energy moves, is that when the moment is right and the doorway is opening, the healing can happen almost instantaneously, right? I felt the shift internally. I felt that there was a transformation. I felt there was a release. I had the teargasms to show for it, right? And it didn't matter what specifically was being released or shifted, only that it was being released and shifted. And in hindsight, I could go back and kind of piece it together. Like, I know it had to do with this. Because one of the things that I find, as a culture, is that we love to talk about, unpacking the past trauma, event, whatever it is, and it's such a vital key piece or step, and it's not the only one. It's not the only healing modality. And I think what we're really finding and seeing, and you can see this kind of across the board, is that talking, or even remembering and processing, only can take you so far. And when we actually land the healing in the body, whether it's through an interaction, a healing modality like maybe Reiki or massage or, craniosacral therapy, like there's so many, right? Myofascial release is another amazing one. Breath work, right? Which is it's not even like body work. It's like working with our own breath to move stuff through the body. I have so many stories that I could tell of ways that healing and transformation have come to me without even needing to articulate or speak it, but simply allow the genius of the body to do it for me. So that's a little excerpt from Shameless, Unleash Your Message, Impact, and Power. So I published this book back in 2019. And then, people kept telling me that they'd love to hear me read it. And also, how do I read most of my books? Audio. like many of us, we're busy. We're like doing stuff, right? So, as much as I love that luxury, and in fact, last night, this morning, I spent reading and it felt so good. A lot of times I'm listening to my books, right? So, I'm so excited that it's coming together, and just wanted to give you a little sample, and just share. Yeah. So, if you liked what you heard, there's more where that came from. Boop, 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 boop. Available on Audible, starting January 31st. So, from my heart to yours, I love you. Take what you need and pass it on.